Hurricane Ian was one of those storms. It's the deadliest hurricane to hit Florida since the Great Labor Day Hurricane of 1935. The high death toll may lead you to believe residents were caught off guard, but the forecasts for Ian were incredibly accurate from the get-go.
In the last few years, the data from all these aircraft are going into the forecast models, and they're improving the track and the intensity forecast from the models that we then use to make our forecast by 10 to 20%.
Dramatic change in how we do things.
Dr. Frank Marks is the head of NOAA's Hurricane Research Division. He's been conducting research flights into hurricanes for over 40 years. But there's still one part of the hurricane where we have very little data because it's simply unsafe to fly: the lowest 2,000 feet. Only one Hurricane Hunter mission has flown into the lowest level of a Category 5 hurricane, and it was because a radar malfunction led the crew to believe it was a much weaker storm. Dr. Marks was on that terrifying flight into Hugo in 1989.
All of a sudden, the wind started climbing rather rapidly in like the last 2 minutes of approach. And I looked at the pilots and I said, maybe we ought to go up. No, I think we're okay. Let's see what happens. Well, we saw what happened.
In a matter of seconds, the plane was violently tossed up at over 5 times the force of gravity and then back down at almost 4 times the force of gravity. They struggled to break through the eye wall's 185-mile-per-hour winds and into the calmer eye.
And just about as we broke through the last bump, somebody in the back said, "There's a flame coming out of engine number 3.
Thankfully, they made it out alive. And now it's standard practice to only fly into hurricanes at an altitude of at least 10,000 feet. Researchers are now turning to drones to go where it's simply not safe for humans. The last research flight made into Hurricane Ian encountered severe turbulence when the storm was near Category 5 strength. But once they punched into the calmer eye, they made history by launching a new drone called Altius into the eye wall.
And it flew for almost 2 hours, recorded winds over 200 miles an hour, so incredible success story. And what's lost in all of that is just the amount of work that went into that one drop, and it happened to be in that perfect storm.
Forecast accuracy is now more important than ever, as we've seen a recent explosion of Category 4 and 5 hurricanes making landfall along the Gulf Coast.